Welcome everyone to today's webinar. I am Michaela, a client success manager here at WorkSmart, and I have my lovely co-host Marissa. You want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Marissa Wayman, and I am an account director here at WorkSmart.
You might have seen us in a video or two in the past, but it has been a while since Marissa and I have been in the hot seat together. So I am very excited to talk to you guys today about IT budgeting and planning. Oftentimes, when you think of your IT budget, you might think of replacing a new computer every now and then, getting a new firewall. But really, there's so much more that goes into your overall IT budget, even if you don't necessarily relate it directly to IT. Your technology needs are vast, and it's important that you plan and budget appropriately for those needs to help set your organization up for the most success. So, today you'll leave with a few takeaways to consider when you're planning for that IT budget. You will also leave with an IT budget calculator, hint, hint, that can be tweaked to fit your specific business needs and give you an idea of kind of where you should be allocating those dollars for each of the different buckets that fall under your IT budget. So, to get us started, the first step is really knowing your current environment. So, you have to know what technology you currently have in place in order to know maybe it has maintenance that's coming up that you need to allocate dollars to. Maybe it needs to be upgraded or outright replaced. Knowing those things ahead of time can help you not be surprised when those expenses come up over the next 12 to 24 months, and getting a better idea of where in its lifetime is all of your hardware and software across your environment. Then, and another important part is talking to the different departments across your organization to get a better understanding of where are they struggling? What are their pain points and their priorities that they're running into on a day-to-day basis? Because that also might impact your budget. And those are things that are really important to, other leaders across your organization that may impact your budget over the next 12 to 24 months. So getting an understanding of where you're at today can help set you up for the most success when you're planning for those next couple of years. So we have 5 priorities that we like to consider when you are talking about your IT budget planning process. So priority number 1 is to prioritize your IT investments based on the business impact. So think about your larger critical business areas like your revenue growth, your customer service and satisfaction, your operations. Those are all very key business operations to making sure that your organization is thriving. And so investing in these areas through technology can really result in a big ROI for your organization.
Oh, no doubt. And that kind of leads us to principle number 2, which is the balance, right? Of course, we definitely want to be creative and innovative. And we also want to be stable and secure, right? Productivity is important. And so, in a world where technology keeps evolving, there's a lot of opportunities to just add more. And so, having the right technology, not just always, more technology, with a balance between what's cutting edge, what's new, what's going to help maintain a competitive edge, versus how are we going to maintain reliable and attainable technology systems. Stability really, it can come from a proactive investment, but also budgeting for the unexpected. We need to plan for emergencies so that in the event that something were to happen, there's a contingency to help us achieve a stable technology infrastructure.
For sure.
And then, it's great when we can have stable systems, and then we're looking for those opportunities, as Michaela said, where we can um, innovate and bring more and help do more and achieve more like that. I keep saying more and more, sounds fancier. Um, and on the topic of more and more is scalability. So as you grow your operations, or even if what you're doing is changing, right? We never change the way we work. Don't look back 3 or 4 years ago. But scalability, flexibility comes from forward thinking and not just looking at what's the snapshot for today, but also what is to come in the next 12, 24, 36 months. What's our 10-year roadmap look like? IT infrastructure that can scale, regardless of the size of your organization, is going to help you optimize your IT budget or your IT spend.
For sure. And number four, priority to consider this IT budgeting and planning and prepping. It's definitely not just I do it one time, I'm going to set it and then I'm going to leave it and it's good to go for another 5, 6 years.
It's
As
not.
Marissa, as Marissa mentioned, IT is changing every day. I think we can all see that happening around us, and there is always more things coming in at us, more things to consider. And so doing regular audits and adjustments to your IT budget, you start off the process, you do all the planning and the prepping and you get your budget together and you feel set, but then regularly reviewing, whether that be a quarterly or a biannually process, just to check in and make sure that have we had any emergencies come up that we needed to pivot and maybe allocate spending elsewhere. Has something changed? Maybe we moved our entire environment to the cloud unexpectedly, and so there are other costs associated that we need to consider. Making sure that your IT environment reflects changes that happen in your organization, whether you do the change or the change has impacted you in some way. Just consistently reviewing and auditing to make sure that you're effectively allocating and spending those dollars is key to keeping a successful budget, and one that's not just wrong after 1 year of being done.
Absolutely. And because earlier in our principle one, we were assigning a priority, we were giving it context to the organization. And so it makes it easy as we're auditing and tracking to make adjustments in support of the organization's biggest goals, right? And then being able to really uh, monitor what's happening gives us an opportunity to catch. We talked about visibility earlier on, know what you have. um, it's not unheard of a department to add a tool, an application in the cloud that has a smaller amount of dollars associated with monthly, but there is an impact to if your technology team is expected to support that. Also, is it secure? So just making sure that you're in the loop on all of the technology that's used throughout the organization is just good business.
That's right. Checking in always. And priority number five, I will be the first to admit that I have a hard time letting go of things sometimes, and I like to be fully in control. I know, big surprise, big surprise. But priority number five is to genuinely embrace automation and tools that can help you automate things. So, getting tasks, that are especially those mundane, tedious, time consuming little tasks that you want to have your eyes on, but you don't really need to have your eyes on, and setting them on an automated schedule to be done for you in the background so that you can stay focused on growing your business, keeping your clients happy, keeping your priorities the priorities and not getting bogged down with all of these little tasks that can just be automated and happening in the background. It will drastically improve efficiency, accuracy across your organization. And even though it can be a little scary sometimes to let things just run, it really is key to making sure that you're working as efficiently as possible and you can spend your time doing what you want to be doing, which is growing and supporting your business.
High value activities. And the other thing I like to think about with automation, which is something that we have actually more traditionally over the last, let's say, 10 years, we've been embracing quite often, which is task automation on the IT side specifically. A, a big thing that we provide to our clients as a managed service provider is patch management, being able to deploy certain things on a schedule. Also, reporting. if there are things you want to stay in the loop on, if things critical that would impact your operations or the happiness of your clients, you can set up automation to keep you in the loop on things. So really, the benefits there are really specific to the tool set that you use, and there's probably some opportunities already available to you that are worth exploring.
For sure. That wraps up our 5 priorities.
Oof.
I know, it was a lot. It was a lot. But
Did
Marissa, you want to give us a few key takeaways that you should consider too?
Absolutely. So I kind of spoiled the first one, so I'm not going to repeat myself,
Figure it out.
but you know, automation. Do
It's
more
helpful.
with less. The next one is something we say a lot. Security isn't optional, it's foundational. And I like to think of cybersecurity as its own bucket on the budget sheet. It is that important that it should be separate. And it is a definitely audit what's there, but definitely plan to evolve because if we're not evolving, we're falling behind. Uh, we did talk about scalability. And so planning for growth ahead of time and allowing yourself to have the flexibility to grow and scale easily will save a lot of expense. Historically, with servers living in someone's office, physical servers, growing with the size of data requires purchasing hardware, taking the server down, whereas in the cloud, it could be very minimal work, of course, dollars associated to get more space added. So scale proactively, but also leverage cloud services if your industry, if your business requires that agility. And always, you can be productive with productivity tools like Microsoft 365. But more than productive, we can collaborate and create and be integrated on a team. And that is critical for small to mid-sized businesses growing and fueling their operations.
For sure. That is pretty much all we have for today. A few last tips for you. So, one is just to consolidate and evaluate services, making sure that you're eliminating any redundancies across your organization. Whether, in your head it seems IT or not, there are likely areas where you are double paying for the same services across different tools and services. Um, Plan for IT growth, not just maintenance, even if you're not necessarily thinking about, oh, my organization's gonna, stay flat over the next year. Still considering IT growth and where you can better strengthen your organization's IT posture is going to set you up for success. And of course, we have our handy dandy IT budget calculator that we will be sharing that you can plug in some numbers and mess around with and see, what that budget looks like for your organization, where your organization wants to be in 5-10 years. So you can kind of prep and plan and have that in your back pocket to use. And of course, if whether you have no IT provider, whether you're looking for a provider, you have an IT provider, maybe it's us. Regardless of where you are in your IT journey, if you would like help going through the IT budget calculator or just evaluating your current IT budget and your current environment and getting a better understanding of where you want to be and how to make your IT match that, feel free to reach out to us. We would be more than happy to help. And we can kind of get you on the right path to making sure that your IT spend is optimized and supporting your organization.
Let's fuel that growth.